Hello, everyone. This is Sam Rizal with Perfectly Holistic, and we are back for another live Q&A session. And I am streaming on Instagram tonight through my phone so I can actually see your comments. So you guys can start dropping some questions in if you want to. But in the meantime, I wanted to just say hi to everybody and then let me know where you're watching from if you're catching us live. And if this is your first time, welcome to our live Q&A. So what we hear is basically take your questions. It can be around behavior stuff for cats. It can be around health issues, wellness issues, just general concerns like how do I do something, fill in the blank. So if you guys have any specific questions or something you're struggling with, needs ideas, support, that's what we're here for. So I'm just kind of going between two different cameras here, so bear with me. So I'm going to say hi to a couple of people over here on Instagram. I'm so excited to see you guys. I'm not going to stream live through StreamYard because I can't see comments. So we're just going to go back to the old-fashioned way. Okay, let me go back over here. So again, we are streaming on our YouTube platform and our Perfectly Holistic Facebook page and Instagram. So oh my goodness, it is such a crazy month. Happy August, everyone. How is your summer going? Mine's hot, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to say hi to some peeps over here in Instagram land. The world of Instagram, it's crazy. Anyway, so what's going on in y'all's lives? Tell me, get me caught up here. What are you doing that's making you happy? I have a really cool story to share. Oh, dang, I forgot to bring my notes about that. I may go run and get them. Yeah, while we are letting the algorithm kind of find everybody, hang on one second. I'm going to go grab my notes. Cool story. Okay. All right. So Aylin had a birthday yesterday. She turned 9. She doesn't look a day over 4 months. She's still so tiny. And she looks exactly the same. So that's good. She's not looking her age. Okay, before I forget, a couple things I wanted to let you guys know about sponsors tonight. Steve's Real Food. If you are looking to try a really good high quality raw food or high quality freeze-dried food, if you go to stevesrealfood.com and use the code Pam Roussel, it's streaming here. Let me see if I can get this banner going up. I'm going to show it has all the codes on here. If you use Pam Roussel as a code, you get 20% off. And then also on Viva Raw, if you are doing or looking for like a really good food, again, Viva Raw is excellent. I use them too. I use Steve's Real Food. I use Viva Raw. I use Darwin's. I kind of rotate those. So Viva Raw will also give you a 20% discount if you use my name as the coupon code at checkout. So try those and see what your cats think. It's really great to be able to offer them some really healthy, fresh, high quality, fresh food. So, okay, I need to go over here to Instagram. Bonnie says, I tried a new supplement, maca root, for an issue, and it's really helping me keep my mind calmer. Awesome. It's making a big difference for my guy's tummy issues. Woohoo. Oh, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Yeah, it's just, you just have to find what works for you, right? There's so many things out there, and there's so many great things out there. If you knew how to muscle test, just saying, you could find out really quick what resonates well for you or your cats and what doesn't, and what's necessary, what's not, what's beneficial, what's not. There are so many ways you can cut corners and get some answers quickly. So I have a muscle testing, just an introduction workshop in my store. Where if you wanted to learn how to really master that skill and take it to a whole nother level and actually do energetic assessing, figuring out protocols, doing energy clearing work and all of that, then my Mastering Muscle Testing program might be what you are looking for. It's a private, invitation only program, and you just have to book a discovery call with me to figure out if that's a good fit. So there should be in our link tree on Instagram, you'll find the discovery call for the Mastering Muscle Testing program. And I can also put a link, give me a second, into the show notes. I'll just put it right here into the comments so you can have that at your fingertips. Okay. Okay, so let me see. Soup yoga, Christy. Oh, stand-up paddle yoga, Christy. I think that's what that is, right? You were so helpful for Ripple and his vaccine detox. Oh, that's awesome. Should I add the liver supplement again? It's been a few months since we finished the program. You know, that's a great question. Detox is never a one and done thing, simply because we live in a toxic world. And the air we breathe is toxic. There's toxins in our foods. There's toxins in our home environment we just can't avoid. So I do regular intermittent detox for myself. I do it for my cat. So the answer is yes, but you don't have to do it as frequently. So typically, like in general, you could do like 3 weeks every quarter. Just carve out a 3-week section every 3 months and just do some liver support. If you really feel like, or if you know there are actual chemicals in your home that you can't avoid, like formaldehyde, like phthalates, inflammatory things that might be in your bedding, your furniture, your flooring, whatever, then do a chemical product detox too. Like the ones that I have are the heavy metal and chemical binder, as well as the Vengeance Venzio. And the Vengeance actually makes products for humans. So you can get your own detox products from their website too. Okay, let me see if I missed something. Okay. Higher vibration says IBD. Are you having questions about like a cat having IBD? I'm guessing. I did a whole radio show on IBD in cats that might be really helpful for you. You can find the recording on my YouTube platform. If you just do a search under my channel, Purrrfectly Holistic, and then IBD, it's a whole show. It deep dives on the root causes, the most common things that contribute to IBD, and then it kind of walks you through what it all means, and then how to narrow things down, testing that you can do, changes that you can make in diet, how to supplement the gut, and all of that kind of stuff. So I would watch that first to give you some ideas, because you might be able to, something that you hear, you may click and go, oh my gosh, I've been doing this, or my cat had exposure to XYZ, whatever it is. And something may resonate with you and you're going to go, oh my gosh, okay, I need to eliminate that. And maybe I need to do some detoxification. Maybe I need to change the diet. Maybe I need to get some diagnostics done. But there's some great information in there. If you need further help, book a free consult with me, and we can kind of pull the layers back a little bit and talk about a little bit more that might be specific to your cat's issues. So, okay, so hopefully that helps. So Barbara says, question, what is your opinion on the algae-based omega-3 supplement versus krill oil? You know what? They're both great. Some pets, let's talk cats. Some cats are really highly sensitive or even allergic to all kinds of fish products. So algae oil is a great option for an omega-3, like a high quality omega-3 product that's necessary to provide the DHA and the EPA requirements that their bodies have. So if your cat doesn't like a salmon oil, a fish oil, a krill or something like that, you could always try the algae oil. And I believe, I know that Adored Beast has one. Is it Potent C? I think that's what it is. I think that's our algae product that's an omega-3 source. So absolutely. And you know what else? It's also good, I have learned, to rotate things. So instead of giving the same omega-3 all the time, if we can diversify that a little bit, you're going to get a different kind of nutritional profile. It just offers great benefits, but in a different way. So keep that in mind as well. Does that answer your question, Barbara? Sorry, I'm super thirsty and I've been losing my voice today. So I don't know how long my voice will last. It kind of gets scratchy. She says, yes, I am using the Beast Potency now. Okay, good. My memory's working. It's working. Okay. What other questions do you have? I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody over here. Okay, she says, what would you do? IBD, steroids, side effects. Okay, that was you will see some of those questions answered in that video. Obviously, I'm not a super fan of steroids. I think they are way overused for whatever ails the cat. In some cases, I'm not a vet, so I can't say that I'm talking from a medical perspective, but from what I have learned from all the smart holistic doctors and integrative vets that I follow, in some cases, it might be temporarily beneficial to help reduce inflammation or an immune response. But even then, I'm a little shy. I'm a little leery of using them. But again, I'm not a doctor, so it would really depend on the situation. And I would definitely use a product like Ion Support for pets, which helps protect the gut lining. You can also use something like L-glutamine, which is an amino acid that helps seal the gut lining, because things like steroids can help tear and weaken those tight junctions, and it can just aggravate the whole situation. So, okay. Bronze also, how do you feel about CBD products? You know what? I think they are a great option. There are so many different brands, so you really have to do homework. I would recommend, if you are interested in a brand, look at their website and make sure that they do third-party testing for heavy metals and contaminants and things like that, because hemp is very good at absorbing things like toxins and heavy metals, radiation, whatever is bad in the soil, it kind of sucks it all up. So you want to make sure that the product you're using is pure. So third-party testing, certificate of analysis is what you look for. And just look at the company's values, look at how they, you want to look for how it's manufactured, how it's made. And then there's different types of potencies for different kinds of ailments. So you want to make sure you're using the right kind, the right potency for whatever condition you're trying to help. Sometimes this is what I've heard, because I don't use CBD on a regular basis for my cats. Fortunately, they don't need it. But what I have learned is that sometimes we think it doesn't work, but we're not using it enough. We're not using enough of it. We're not using a strong enough amount of it. So it might just need tweaked based on the type and, how many milligrams it has in it. So anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. It's great for so many things. There's actually a brand called Elixir, Elixir, that next one called Lix, Lix, for cats. And it's tasteless, and you can just put it on top of the food. And I have used that tried it with Aylin for a couple times. when she was just afraid, just really, really scared. And honestly, I just kind of I didn't stick with it on a regular. I wasn't consistent, so she's not using it now. But she didn't resist it, which is great. And I just put it, and it's evidently it's one of those you can just put on right on top of the food. So, what else about CBD? It's great for calming. It's been used to help support cats with cancer or immune system disorders and things like that. Um, it's a great option, just like for people. You just have to know what you're using it for and make sure you get the right product for the condition that you want to address. Um, there is one of my favorite companies that actually there's two people that I really feel are really good at the CBD questions. One of those is CBD Dog Health. Angela Ardolino and her team over there are awesome. They are so well knowledged in this topic. And then Dr. Rob Silver, another really good resource for using CBD with pets. He was actually pioneering this like 25 some plus years ago when he was still practicing, and has used it for a really long time. So he got a lot of experience. So check those two people out if you want some more good advice on CBD. Oh, she's using that now for my dog, CBD Dog Health. Yeah, it's a good product. Really, really good product. And they use so many things synergistically, like the essential oils in there. And the CBD itself. And I know there's something else in it. I just can't remember. But yeah, that's it's so potent. That's what makes it work so well. So yeah, I'm glad you're trying that. Hopefully you're getting some good success with it. Let's see what else. So again, does anybody have any other questions? This is fun. Have you had some wins with your cats lately? Have you tried something new? Have you found a new favorite product, a new favorite food, or anything like that that you can share with people? Because it's always fun to help share things that have worked for us so that other people can consider those whenever they need something. I love waving at people on Instagram. I think that's fun. So as we get closer to the end of the show, I'm going to share with you the story, but I'm sure you have more questions first before I go into a story. It was pretty neat. It happened this week. And then what else was I going to tell you guys? We got the muscle testing show. You got the coupon codes for the Steel Food and the Viva Raw if you want to get 20% off of those products. I cannot remember what else. But I'm going to, if you want me to talk about the story, I will talk about the story, but I want to make sure I save time for your questions. So let me know if there's anything else. Any questions over here? Bonnie says, I use an organic product called CBD Calm. Yes, it's perfect for your boys. Yeah, with all the visitors they have. Hopefully that situation is settling down. Yeah. Okay, this is an interesting totally off the topic, but I think it's important to share. I was working on a client this week, and her cat, and tell me if this has happened to you guys. Do you have a cat who can't meow or who drools a lot? Maybe a combination of those things, and they just don't have a voice. The pet that I worked on, the cat that I worked on, really couldn't vocalize, and like probably did the kitten, but it lost its voice. Tom cannot meow. Ah, wow. Okay, interesting. I think I know the reason, Barbara. And I don't know if it can be reversed at this point, but did you guys know that one of the symptoms of rabies vaccinosis is the paralysis of the larynx? So what happens is when you have laryngeal paralysis, their vocal cords can't work. Um, and in some cases, they have trouble swallowing. And this particular cat was having a lot of emotional blocks around feeling paralyzed and helpless, and inhibited, which I find fascinating. And it's, it's very sad. Um, but it, it was all energetically resonating with a rabies vaccine and it was given 2 vaccines over a period of time, along with some other, the distemper vaccine. And it's very interesting. So just be aware of those kinds of things, because something as simple as the rabies vaccine can cause so many problems. Paralysis is just one of the miasms, or one of the symptoms of chronic disease and adverse reactions from that. So laryngeal paralysis, and even like mobility paralysis, like they can't walk, they lose the ability to walk, or have a lot of trouble with mobility, even lameness, complete lameness. So let's be aware that that is a very common symptom of rabies vaccinosis. So write it down, file it away, because you never know when you're going to need to know that information. Now, you can detox the rabies vaccine, and in a case like that, I would use Listen 200 CK for probably 3 or 4 days, twice a day for 3 or 4 days, just to help clear out the toxic effects of that vaccine. Okay, Jean Jones says, my cat has licked raw spots on his belly, seems to be itchy. Longer story, but I'll leave it there. Trying to boost his immune system, taking chicken out of diet. This started a while back. First, vet said over grooming, then said allergy because of immune system not working, as well as he's 15. Okay, wasn't working as well since he was young. He's now 15. Antibiotic and steroids a few times. They wanted him to take Topica, but yeah, that made him sick. Yeah, that's really common, because they're just trying to put a Band-Aid on the symptom of the itching. Chances are good that there's a histamine response going on, and that's why cats lick. They're trying to self-soothe and stop the itching from the histamine release. So something is contributing to that. It could be food. It could be something else. So think about like the main sources of like common underlying root causes. It could be toxin of some kind. That are disrupting the immune system on the most base level. Food tends to not be like their root cause, or it's like it can be sitting up above their root cause. There's usually something deeper than that. So like parasites are even, especially on the belly. Sometimes cats can have parasites and they feel them tickling, and they'll lick until their fur is gone. So let's see, detox, like check for parasites, and then check for toxins. Like go through your health history. Has he had a lot of vaccines? If so, even if they were given a long time ago, go back and do a timeline. When did the symptoms first start? And then look around that time frame. What was going on? Was there anything? Was he exposed to anything in like a 30 to 60 day time period? Maybe even shorter. Was there new stressors in the home? Is there a lot of anxiety? How's the energy? Because sometimes cats overgrow because of stress, and their bodies just kind of go into this little immune response. They get overstimulated, overstressed. So that can be a problem. So I would try to do some digging into like root causes, toxins, parasites. Those would be the biggies that can lead to the disruption of the immune system in the gut. And then you can create, or it can create, food sensitivities on top of that. So if changing the diet is not fixing the problem, then it's not food. Like, and when we say change the diet, is he on wet food? Is he on dry food? If he's on dry, take all the dry out. Just take it out. Do a wet food, fresh food diet, and if change the protein. And if that doesn't fix the problem, then it's probably something else that's contributing to that imbalance. And so, yeah, the Atopica is an awful, awful drug. Awful. Hopefully he's not still on it. Yeah, and I don't understand why vets just always want to give them an antibiotics. Like, show me where there's an infection first. It's like, why do they just want to throw an antibiotic at everything? That doesn't make any sense. And of course, they want to use steroids because that would suppress the immune system and stop the symptoms, but it doesn't stop the problem. So we've got to dig deeper. Okay. Hi, you guys over here on Instagram. Okay. Yes. Detoxed him from the rabies 3 times in the last 4 years. The first time was due to serious aggressive behavior. Yeah. Yeah. And my heart goes out to everybody who struggles with living in a county or a state that has a rabies law, and I say that in quotes, that says they have to be revaccinated over and over and over again for rabies. These indoor cats who have zero risk of contracting this horrible disease, and they're not in contact with anything that would give them rabies. And if they've been vaccinated once, their body is most likely protected and could mount an immune response if they did encounter the disease. So there's no scientific basis for revaccinating, and this is based in science. This is from veterinary immunologists who study immunity in pets from vaccines. They've been saying it since the mid-90s. You don't need to revaccinate these cats and dogs. It's just causing chronic diseases. So I am hopeful, and I'm not going to go too deep on this, but I am hopeful with the overturning of the Chevron doctrine that gave all of these 3-letter agencies and government entities the ability to make their own laws that with bypassing Congress, because Congress is the only constitutional authority to make laws. So with the overturning of the Chevron doctrine, I am hopeful that it will, the rabies laws in all these states will be challenged in court and overturned based on that ruling, because it isn't constitutional. States do not have the ability to make laws that affect their people. The people have the right to give input on the laws that are passed. And some of these laws are they're not scientifically based, and they violate your constitutional rights. And I'm a big fan of constitutional rights. So let's keep our fingers crossed and pray that this happens. Bronson Ragdoll says the problem is most vets won't even examine cats or dogs without vaccines. I know, and those vets should be held accountable for violating their oaths, because that's absolutely what they're doing every single time they do that. We just have to keep searching for new vets and pray that these younger vets coming up through vet school are going to be enlightened a little bit more than some of these others that have just been around for so many years and just do what they're told. I just know that it's an uphill battle for sure until the culture changes. And I feel like, pet parents have a lot more power than they realize. And I think we give away our power too much. This is just my opinion, but I feel like if enough of us said absolutely not and remind these people of the oath that they took, and to read the labels on vaccines that say first do no harm, and this does not, this vaccine should be given to my cat or my dog who is sick. It's contraindicated. That's malpractice if they do that. So we just have to stand up in numbers and say no. Because at the end of the day, if people start leaving their practices, they're going to be in a real hole, they're going to be financially affected. And that is when you get people's attention. So maybe we can get their attention financially by walking on these people and take our business elsewhere. It's hard. I know it's hard, but I feel like so many times we give up too soon. If we just dig in, and I'm telling you, I've done it myself. I had to cry, but it worked. So if you have to cry, if you have to go fit, if you have to pull out the label and show them, if you have to remind them of their oath, if you have to just kindly say, no, 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 I don't feel comfortable with that. No, we're not doing that today. And you just dig your heels in. I wonder how many would cave. That's my personal opinion. I've done it. It works. So prayers to all of you who are struggling with that situation, because it's hard. I know it's hard, but don't quit. Don't give up. Bronson says, yeah, they should. My vet does not have any issues caring for pets without their vaccines. See, you have a good vet. You have a good vet. And we need to reward those people for having a heart and really following their oath. I mean, honoring their oath. I think it's real important. Bonnie says, my guys get constipated on food with bone, but it's good for them. Can you recommend something that might give them nutrients but not constipate them? There's what you could do is give them the raw food with calcium, eggshell calcium in it instead. It's a calcium source. So it's not that they need the bone, it's the phosphorus and the calcium from that. So find a product that has a calcium in it instead. And I think Lotus is one. So check Lotus. And the other thing that you could do is you always making your own with a premix, like get some fresh meat from the ground beef at the grocery store, chicken, turkey, pork, whatever, and just mix it with a premix like L-Nutrin or what's the other one? TC Feline or Easy Complete by Food for Life. So that's always an option, because then there's no bone in it. Now, if you just wanted to give them like a chicken wing or something like that to chew on, like raw meaty stuff to help clean their teeth, that's a whole different story. It doesn't take very much, or very often, but some cats really like chewing on the bones. Bonnie says, I have given away my power, but not anymore. Prince got a dental at a place that had paperwork I filled out to ensure he didn't get any vaccines. I hope they honor that, though. That's why I switched. And she says she switched to fetching foods who put eggshell calcium in it. Yes, that's it. That's perfect. That's a great option. Yeah. Fortunately, there's more than one way to feed cats, who have certain issues or whatever. So that's good. You just got to check the recipes. And there's so many great brands out there that have so many varying recipes with so many different types of ingredients. Some use really whole food ingredients instead of adding a bunch of synthetic vitamins and minerals to their recipes. So the more you can do fresh, the better. The more whole food supplement you can use in synthetics, it's absolutely hands down going to be better, because the body recognizes whole food ingredients better than synthetics. And synthetics are kind of trying to mimic what the other, non-synthetics are. And the body sometimes doesn't have the ability to use the synthetics the way they can a whole food ingredient. So just something to consider. Unfortunately, the downside is when you use a lot of the whole food sourcing for those kinds of things, the food gets more expensive because food ingredients are more expensive. And how crazy is that, right? It's like it costs you more money to eat fresh food from the grocery store than it does to buy processed food that's not good for you. So you get penalized for wanting to have fresh quality whole foods, that actually have nutrients and benefits and enzymes, versus dead processed food that doesn't provide any nutrients at all. You have to add it all back in. And then even then it's not really something our bodies can really utilize, right? So anyway, that's my soapbox for that. I know y'all are sick of me talking about that, but Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to come back over here. Anybody over here on Instagram have any cat questions? We are taking your questions tonight. Okay. So Bronson Ragdoll says, how do you feel about an 80-10-10 raw meat and then just adding veggies to the diet? You know what? There are brands like Viva that have the Prey model, and then there's a premix by Alnutrin that is specifically for the Prey model 80-10-10 diet. So that you get the proper nutrients that are missing from that. So I would look at that. I mean, you want to make sure that whatever you're giving is complete and you're not missing anything. But you know what? I've used, I think there's like with an 80-10-10, like egg yolk, maybe, and definitely a fiber source like psyllium or pumpkin or some other kind of fiber. And then probably some salt and sardines. You could put sardines in that and you get a bunch of nutritional benefits from it. I'm going from memory, so don't go home and write all this down and say that's complete, because I don't know that it is. But it's a start. Let's see. But yeah, it's easier if you want to take a Prey model and just use something like this specific Alnutrin mix for Prey model diets. That way you're covered and it's easy. I have some in the refrigerator, and you just mix it in a bowl with water, and then you add all the meat to it, and boom, you're done. And you can always add an extra egg or some extra sardines or something like that. Okay, I'm going to totally mess up your name. I apologize. Shruthila says, what is the best protein for cats with digestive issues, bloating, and chronic vomiting? Oh, you know what? Here's my question. What is causing the vomiting, the bloating, and the vomiting? Typically, it's something that they're eating that doesn't agree with them. So I would ask you what kind of food you're feeding. Are you feeding dry food? Are you feeding wet food? And what else are they getting into that's causing that? Bloating is, typically when you think of bloating, you think, oh my gosh, the stomach is not able to break this down. Maybe it's giving off a lot of gas. It's causing a lot of irritation. So things like starches do that. If it is total meat-based diet, a wet diet, you typically don't see that unless there is an underlying cause that's, preceded that whole issue going on. So I would say wet diet or fresh diet. The fresher the better. And then work on the gut, probiotics, digestive enzymes, things like that are going to help balance the microbiome and support digestion and support the pancreas so that you don't have those kinds of side effects. So, but again, if we ask the why this is happening, then this is the first most important question in order to determine what to do. Janae says, I'm not sure if my message from YouTube reached you. Well, I don't know. Maybe I missed it. If it was up here, I don't see it. I don't see it posted yet in YouTube, but I'm glad you posted here. Let me scroll back down. I took Sable to the groomer on Saturday and informed from here on out she needs a rabies shot, which is a law in New England. This is the first time I've heard about it. Are there holistic groomers out there? You know what? That's a tough question. You would probably do well to shop around and just let the groomer know, look, my cat's indoors. She doesn't bite anybody. She's fine. She's healthy. I am not revaccinating her on any, for any reason. It leads to chronic disease, and her body is immune. She's been vaccinated before. She has immunity for life. You can give the groomer like some documentation that supports that. And if they are still like, no, sorry, I would just take my money somewhere else. There are some people, I mean, just like anywhere. Oh, Nebraska, sorry, not England. Thank you. Just like anywhere, some vets are just more accommodating, and they're like, yeah, I get it. Some groomers can be more accommodating than other groomers. So if, you might need to see if there's a mobile groomer that can come to your house that's, maybe doesn't make a big deal about stuff like that. I'll tell you guys a story. I was going to hire a pet sitting company, and because I'm going to Super Zoo in a couple weeks. And so several months ago, I was interviewing and looking around. And so I scheduled the whole thing. I was about to schedule the home visit. I filled out all their paperwork online. This took a lot of time. And then I got the old request that said, oh, we need your current vaccine records. And I sent them this nice, polite email back, and it said, I'm not revaccinating them. And, here, this and this and this. And I said, they don't need it. I'm not going to do it. And so is that a deal breaker for you? And, here's the science behind why they don't need it. And I said all of this to them, and she's like, well, sorry, but it's a requirement. And she was just like, no, I'm not, you have to get this. I'm like, well, there you go. I'm not. So bye. I canceled the whole thing. I told them to delete all my information on their website, and I shopped around and found something else. So I think that's your power. You just have to interview people and say, this is my hard nose. And this is what I firmly believe is in my pet's highest and best good, and in their health is more important to me. So, just stand firm and say, I really would love to hire you to groom Sable. But she doesn't need revaccinated. She's protected. So and part of it is just, these people are just uneducated. They don't know, because they've been following the same outdated practices, not rules, but practices for 20, 30 years. So, it's a matter of education, and you guys are in the know. So you are here, you are learning about things that some of these people haven't learned yet. Janae says, I've taken her and my other two for 24 years. She knows my girls, and now the surprise. I really feel like it's up to the groomer. They can choose to say, you know what, your cat's, I'm not gonna enforce that. And then some people will just say, yeah, I am. So, you could ask if they take a titer, which looks up titer tests, because that can prove that your cat has immunity to something. And then, sometimes you can show them like, yeah, she has an immune response. Here's her titer test. So therefore she's covered. Maybe that would cover them, whatever their requirements are. So again, pray that the Chevron doctrine can overturn all these stupid, ridiculous rabies laws. Okay, especially if your cat's already had a rabies vaccine, or your dog's. So that's my hope. So okay. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Right. I know we're like this. Please, please, please. It's so ridiculous. It's in the energy work I do. I see so many vaccine injured pets, and it breaks my heart. Their bodies struggle, and it's not their fault, and it's not the pet parents' fault. It's just that these vets are so uneducated about the whole thing, which makes my heart hurt, because the pets are the ones that suffer, which is unfortunate. Okay. Bonnie says that she likes Pet Essentials quail egg treats. Her guys love those. That's a great treat. Um, okay, Shruthelia says, not, no, okay, Shruthila, sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. How do we detox them from over vaccination? I adopted a kitten from shelter and he is over vaccinated. I can help you with that. In my shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com, I have a vaccine detox program that is an outline of the why we do it, how we do it, what we use, protocols, the whole deal. So if you want to look at that, it will actually include links of products that you can use. And I carry all of things that you can use to detox the pets, but you need to do it smartly. There is a specific formula to follow in order to make it very effective and gentle and work on your pet safely. So check out that on the website, shop.purrrfectlyholistic.com. It's under products. If you scroll all the way down to very, very bottom of that little list, it'll say vaccine detox. So yeah, it's easy to do. It's not hard. It just takes several weeks. I'm not going to lie. So probably 2 to 3 months, if not longer, for the entire detox process. And then you're going to want to take another 3 to 4 months to rebuild the immune system and the gut. So that can also be one of the reasons why your cat's digestive issues are present. Okay. It's toxins, it's from vaccines. They damage the gut. Absolutely. And remember, guys, that the immune system and the digestive system share the same real estate. So if we weaken the immune system, it's going to affect the digestive system. And that's how we get food sensitivities and allergies and things like that. So just be mindful how much those two areas of the body are connected. Janae says, good deal. I'll get her some info. Thank you. You're welcome. And Janae, there is a concept called duration of immunity. It basically says that once your cat has immunity from a vaccine, the memory cells, the immune cells in the body store that information. They're called memory cells. And so when the body is aware that there is a foreign invader of some kind, those cells are circulating around fighting the enemy. Okay. But when the enemy is gone, those immune cells kind of go back to sleep, and they just kind of sit back in the background. They're like, well, there's nothing for us to do right now. So we're just going to hang out and we're going to just wait until we're needed again. And then when and if they are faced with another foreign invader of that type, they come out from the background and they're circulating again. So this is the reason why titers are not necessarily needed all the time. So once you get your cat vaccinated, do one titer test. That's all you need. One titer test. Show that the cat has immunity, because that proves that the memory cells have information that they need. You don't have to keep redoing titers every year, because once the memory cells are in there with the right information, they stay there. So even if your titer comes back at less than 0.5 or whatever, that doesn't mean that the memory cells no longer have the information that they need. It does. It's just not, there's no threat. So it's not going to be circulating. So just remember that. So yeah, she's Shruthila. I need to practice your name. She says it will. Yes, it could be the reason for a digestive issue. Yeah, and I see a lot of cats, like kittens, that are over vaccinated from the shelter that they're in. It is a tragedy. They also spay and neuter them way too early, and that's a whole nother can of worms that causes some problems. But yeah, absolutely, that is very common for what you're dealing with, that and parasites. So check for parasites and then check that vaccine detox too. If you haven't done, and before you just go do a dewormer, test for parasites first. So you remember dewormers destroy bacteria, healthy bacteria. They can, if we let's just like giving an antibiotic, right? It's going to destroy the healthy and the bad bacteria. So whenever we give a pharmaceutical dewormer, you are going to disrupt the balance in the gut. So test before you do a dewormer. Just make sure if that's needed or not. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, I don't think so. Hang on one second. Make sure. Okay, there it is. Okay, before we wrap up here, I wanted to give you guys just inspirational little story of something that happened this week. You know, I'm the woo-woo girl, and I love talking about energy. I love talking about spirit guides and animal guides and things like that. And we've actually done whole shows on that before and in the past. But this week, I had a really special encounter, and I just thought it was amazing. So what happened was my cats love to go play in the backyard. And from time to time, catch some wildlife. I'm not happy about that, but it's their nature, right? And let's see, what's today, Thursday? So on Monday, it was either Sunday or Monday, I cannot remember. It caught my attention. Breeze was trying to tell me she wanted in the house. So I turned and I looked. She has this little baby bunny in her mouth. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like running out I'm like trying to say, give me the bunny, give me the bunny. And she let the bunny down and I got the bunny. The bunny was fine. And I just held it and I took it from the backyard to the front yard when I knew he was fine and he was safe. And I let him go in the front bushes. And wouldn't you know, lo and behold, either it was the very next day or the day after, she did it again. I don't know if it was the same bunny, but she caught another bunny. And this time she caught it by the back end. It wasn't harmed. And she wants to bring it inside. I guess she's bringing me gifts, right? Our cats like to bring us gifts. So she's bringing me another bunny. And I'm like, no, give me the bunny. So I got the bunny, rescued the bunny. Took the bunny out to the front and said, okay, you've got to stay out of my backyard. You've got to stay out of my backyard. Don't come into my backyard. I'm talking baby bunny, like fits in smaller than my hand. Okay. And my hands are not very big. That same night, so twice in one day, I would happen to be, and this time, you know, every time I'm opening the door when we go outside together and I am scanning the yard and I'm looking everywhere and make sure there is no bunnies, no wildlife anywhere. And so, and we have a fenced in backyard. I saw 3 of the cats having a little meeting, staring at something in the grass that was about the size of my hand. And I'm like, oh no, because I had just went out there and everything was clear. And they're staring at it and the bunny's not moving. And I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. So I'm walking out there. I'm like, don't touch it, leave it alone. And it just sat there frozen, right? And I'm like, is it okay? So I picked it up and it was totally fine. My cat hadn't even touched it this time. And thank God. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? My yard, we don't ever have baby bunnies like this. Where are they coming from? So I took it inside and I wanted to share a picture because it is absolutely the most precious little thing. And I mean, it is so precious. Let me see if I can find... I'm going to try to see if I can pull this over. You've got to see this. This is so... Okay. Well, let me see. Let me go here. No, let's go this way. Okay, so I'm just going to slide this over. Let me see if it works. Okay. Can you guys see that? I'm going to have to pop over here. Tell me if you can see. Oh, I don't think I can share my screen. It says Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. And I can't show you the picture of the bunny. Sorry, because I'm using my phone. Great. Okay, well, it just ruined my whole plan. Anyway, this little tiny little thing, she was like not even the size of my hand, and she had a little white mark on the top of her head. And she literally just sat in my hands. I brought her in the house, I took a picture, and I'm just talking to her, and I'm like, you've got to stay out of my yard. I don't know who you are, and are you the brother or the sister of the one that came before? This one was a female. I did an energy test and found out this was a female. The one before was a male. And I literally just held her, and she didn't squirm or anything. And I was just petting her, and I was just trying to calm her down. And so I went outside and I sat on the front step with her for like 10 minutes, just holding her. And she's just sitting there, just calm and relaxed and chilled and everything. And I'm like, man, that's totally amazing. And then I let her down, and she went off, and she hid. She was fine. She's not hurt at all. It's so tiny, and so, gosh, they're the cutest things ever. If I could ever have a bunny. Then it hit me like spirit is trying to tell me something. And then I remembered all of those talks I had about animal guides and spirit guides. So I thought, you know what? Maybe this is a message. Maybe this is a message. So I looked up the meaning of, like, the spiritual meaning or the symbolism of baby bunny. And I didn't know I would find that. But guess what I did? I found there's a whole section on the internet about baby bunny spirit animal symbolism. Who knew? This is the cutest thing. Okay, so I'm just going to read you some of this is what the symbolism of baby bunny is all about. So this will make sense to you. And some of this really, really resonated to me because it's some stuff that I'm working on in my own life. But okay, so one of them is innocence, fertility, and growth, new beginnings and potential for personal development, embracing the inner child and approaching life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, rebirth, regeneration, bounce back and grow stronger than ever before, agility and quick thinking, trust your intuition, adapt swiftly to changing circumstances, embrace feminine energy and nurture ourselves and others with love and compassion, approach life with lighthearted and playful attitudes. It's about new beginnings, growth, cycle of life, the care for the fragile aspects of our lives, including our emotions and relationships, connecting with your inner innocence, embrace change, approach life with loving and open heart, innocence, vulnerability, new beginnings, gentleness, compassion, and kindness, fertility and abundance, good luck, blessings, especially in matters of family and relationships. So here's what's interesting. I asked you 3 baby bunnies in 2 days. So the number 3 is very important in numerology and just from a spiritual perspective. So 3 represents harmony, luck, and stability. It represents past, present, and future, or a life cycle from birth to death. It represents self-achievement, creativity, self-expression, things coming full circle. It represents wealth, knowledge, peace, wisdom, and harmony. And the angel number 3 is about entering a time of abundance and good news. And it offers encouragement to put your all into whatever you want to come to fruition. And it's also about divinity or Trinity. So when I sat and I found all of this, it suddenly dawned on me, my spirit guides were sending me 3 baby bunnies to get my attention. And I will tell you, I have not seen any since. And that's usually what happens. So when our spirit guides show up in our lives and we actually see and acknowledge them and we pay attention to the message, they leave. It's like, okay, my job's done. I can go now. And I haven't seen them since. I'm glad I haven't seen them because I want them to grow up and be healthy, happy bunnies. But oh my gosh. So I just wanted to inspire you guys with that. So pay attention to your surroundings, to your environment. Look for messages from spirit, from your animal guides. If you see anything out of the norm in the realm of nature, pay attention because there could be a message for you from that particular animal or insect or whatever it is. And then go do a search online and look up spiritual meaning or symbolism of, and then put the name of that particular animal or insect or bird or whatever it is that you saw, and see what you find, and just read through the articles and see what resonates and really jumps out to you, because it totally makes sense to me what I found when I read it. So I will leave it on that with for tonight, but I hope that inspired you. And the good thing is all those bunnies were totally healthy and they were not injured and they were totally fine. And on another occasion, that would not be the same happy outcome. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I hope this was fun. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, pam@purrrfectlyholistic.com. You can continue to follow Purrrfectly Holistic on your favorite social media platforms. And don't forget to use your coupon codes for some really awesome raw cat food and products. So until next month, we will see you soon. So thanks, you guys. Have a great rest of your evening.